Excuse me. So damn, sorry. So so at this Exxon there's a guy that works here, and he told me that he has a wife in India and kids. I think he said 5 kids, man. I think 5 kids, maybe not that many, but he has kids in India and a wife, and he hasn't seen them in 8 years since he's been here. Now, he, talks to them on the video chat and all that and stuff, but um, it's too much, it's too expensive, and quite impossible. He's on a visa, work visa, working here. It's quite impossible to bring his kids, his wife here. I guess he doesn't really have the money. I mean, I work with people in programming. When I was a programmer in different corporate jobs, that brought their but their wife was also a programmer or like a doctor or something, and then they brought the wife, and then actually the mother and the father, and then the I think if she got pregnant, the kid would go back to India and stay for 2 years with the mother and the father. They get the grandmother and father, and then come back. So that was a whole nother dynamic. But this poor guy hasn't seen his wife and his kids, physically touched them in 8 years. And you could say, well, that's a choice he makes. Well, no, that's what he has to do. He has to work. He wants to be in this country because he makes decent money here, enough money to send back to India and to support his family there, because he makes more money here than he would be making there. Even though he still has rent to pay, but the guy works 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, I think. I don't think I've never seen him get a day off. But he's a good guy. He's a cool guy. But the whole thing with having to do that, you sacrifice a relationship. You sacrifice your kids. You sacrifice having a family, just so you have enough money to support them. Because the country you're coming from, you would not be able to support them, even though you're paying rent here and rent there, and you're paying expenses here and expenses there. Still, the money you can make here just working in a gas station, behind the counter, just not, he doesn't do gas, but he works inside. Yeah, he works inside. Oh, which way was it? He works inside. Supporting, and he hasn't seen him in years, and like I can't. When a lot of the Indian gentlemen that I work with, programming wise, they would always take like just 2 month vacation a year every year and go visit their family, even if they had like a wife there and not here and yet, or a family there, they would still go and visit. For this guy can't afford it. The work visa every year has to be renewed, so that's kind of dangerous. If you go there and then they don't renew it, then you're stuck there. And I guess it's just too much. But it's just incredible, man. You see what you do to people as a society? You force them into these strange. Like I know everybody. Most people that watch this go, well, that's just him, and there's just a few people. There's a lot of people in India doing that, probably all around, all over the country. All over the world. Actually, they go different places to be able to work, make more money, because they can't make the money in India, because you still have the cost of living. You still have everything that goes along with having a family and having expenses. I can't fathom. Again, the more I look at the civilization, the more I'm seeing. As a programmer, I was able to really look at the civilization. At my applications that I worked on, and things that I had to fix, and I would see problems in them, and I would come up with solutions to fix them. And this society is so riddled with problems. And it's all based on, if it wasn't money, if there was no money, and we just shared everything, this guy would be living with his family in India, or he'd take his family and bring him over here if he wanted to. It didn't really matter, because there'd be no nations, there'd be no borders, there'd be cultures, but there wouldn't be borders, and they wouldn't be worried about losing your job if you go into another country, if you happen to want to be there, or traveling would be, no problem, because that traveling would just be a part of existence that was free. I mean, why would we want to put ourselves? I mean, even if you out there watching this, right? If a few people that are watching this, even you can't fathom him having to do that. Just put yourself in his shoes, though, and put yourself in that, and just take yourself out of the box and just put yourself there, and say to yourself. I mean, and the guy accepts it. I said, like, we haven't seen your family. Oh, but we see each other in video chat, and it's the things that I have to do. It's like he accepts it as being part of life, and that's a shame. That's a sad state that you have to be in. As you can tell, my nose was broken, and it's just not even. It's still pretty fat up here, so I'm probably gonna have. I just noticed that, but whatever. Everything. My nose being broken, my eyes. This was all caused by money. Whether it was he intentionally did it because he wanted to steal my scooter, or somebody paid him to do this because because they wanted to get rid of me from Tent City. Either or, this was all caused by money. This poor guy hasn't seen his family because of money. If you had to, from scratch, right? If you had to create a civilization, right? Say you were God, right? Or whatever. If you want to, maybe they'll develop a new game called God, and you got to create a civilization. Would you create it the way we're running it right now? Or would you make everything equal and free, like you teach your children, sharing the sandbox, and don't be greedy, but then when they're on in the workforce, they got to be greedy. They got to be competitive and get ready to step on where you have to step on to get up that corporate ladder. That's what you teach them. That's it. If you don't teach them, that's what the schools teach them, and that's what the companies want. They want nice competitive, because the more competitive it is, the better the employee will turn out, because they're fighting to be the top. They're going to work the best. They're going to work the longest hours. They're going to work the hardest just to get that raise, get that promotion, get that this, get that. All that will go away, because people would just be doing the work because they want to do it. They love to do it. 8, 10, 12 hours away, whatever you want to do a day. Then take days off, whatever you want to do. Or you be computing 4 hours a day, 3 hours, 2, 8, whatever you can do. That's 7 billion people we can work with, man. And there's no shortage of people. And this guy would not spend 8 years, and plus, I mean, I don't know if I had to ask him when he planned to go back to India to see your family. I don't think he had an answer for me. The visa's always, the work visa's always, and if you leave and you can't get the work visa to come back, so that he's probably just worried and he just stays here. On top of it, costs a lot of money to go to India, and then be out of work for a month and not be able to pay the rent here and then pay the rent in India and expenses for the kids. I'm not sure if his wife works. I didn't ask him, but whatever the situation is, it's sad. And the thing of it is, you create it, or you allow these people to continue it. When common sense should tell you that the system that we have right now, as a civilization, if you had the chance to create it, would you create it the same way? If you say yeah, then you're part of that elite class and making a shitload of money, and you don't give a shit about anybody else. But I doubt any of those people watching my videos. But if you're of the class that is basically holding up this pyramid and are slaves to these people that are living so much better than you, would you create it? Well, let me give you the inside scoop on your creator. He didn't want you to get to this point, and when you did, he wanted you to reverse it out and go back to an existence that everything else in this universe lives by. A shared, equality-based system that doesn't charge anything for anything. There's no charging. There's no, the moon doesn't have to earn a living. It just does what it needs to do. The sun doesn't have to earn a living. It just does what it needs to do. The tree doesn't have to earn a living. It doesn't have to provide you oxygen. It just does because it's part of its DNA. But it doesn't have to. It doesn't get paid to provide you oxygen, right? Imagine if it did. Then we'd be like, oh shit, the trees are going on strike. What do we do with no oxygen? What do we do with no oxygen? So, next time I happen to have no wife, no girlfriend, no kids, no family. I haven't seen my sister. She didn't even. She give a flying fuck about me anymore. So I don't have any family. My brother, none. I have absolutely, positively no one in my life that gives a flying fuck about me anymore. That's fine. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. But do you imagine if you did have, loved ones? If you did have loved ones, and you were forced to not see them for years and years and years, right? Just so you can earn a living, right? Just imagine. And now imagine it the other way. And see which way feels better. If you're not saying the shared equality-based system and society is better, then you're either part of the elite class, part of the middle class that seems to be making, whatever. As long as I get my car and my stuff, I don't care. Or just plain stupid. Plain stupid. I'm sorry. I'll use it. Just plain ignorant of the fact that they've imposed this caste system on you and your civilization to enslave you. So now, if you understand those words, you're not ignorant anymore. So do something about it. I'm trying to, the best I can. I get ridiculed, I made fun of, I get cursed, I get called a druggie, I get called a dope, I get called all these things, but it doesn't matter. Because that person calling me a druggie, a dope, they're going to end up in the same grave that I am. And if they prefer working, all those hours, all the way to their grave, hey man, let me know how it feels just before you hit that grave, man. You should hit that, because I'm telling you right now, and I've lived through a lot of past lives, and I've regressed through a lot of them, and not one of them did I say that I worked too little. And most of them were a shared-based system. The few that were like this civilization really didn't, they weren't really like, didn't really do much for me. I remember, and I definitely did have to work much more than I should have, as you do, all to benefit them. Have a good night. And next time you see family, hug them, man. Because you know what? You could be him. You could be him.